Welcome back. Today's video, of course, as you can tell by the title, is the top 5 altcoins for 2024. So Bitcoin at the moment, guys, the ETF just got announced. We're having a bit of a pullback in the market. And what's happening right now, it looks like, is Bitcoin's falling. Bitcoin dominance is falling finally. And we're starting to see some money flow into the alts a little bit now. Now, while I am doing a video on the top 5 altcoins, I have made videos on these several before, so I'll be linking them above and at the end of the video. But before I get started, if you like altcoins, that's what I do on this channel. I find high quality altcoins for you guys and that I personally invest in as well. So these are good altcoins. I want to quickly say though, before I get into the video, that altcoins are incredibly volatile. You can lose 40% and you can gain 40% very, very quickly. So risk management is the most important thing by far before going into altcoins. How much you're willing to risk, how much you're willing to lose, and when are you going to get out of the market. But let's get started already with number one. And number one is Injected protocol. Injected protocol has been on my radar for quite some time. I think I've already made 2 or 3 videos on this crypto already. And this is a crypto that's done very, very well. Now, how can you spot a good altcoin, right? There's so many people who claim, I told you to invest in this crypto. This is so good. How can you tell? It really just comes down to the fundamental law of supply and demand. Okay. If there's no supply, demand will catch up and it will start to get price increases. And you can see last year was a turbulent time for crypto. Every crypto basically got dumped on in 2022. Now in 2023, we had a lot of cryptos going up, mainly Bitcoin and ETH, but mainly Bitcoin. And so when you look at an altcoin, you want to say, okay, when was a low for this altcoin? And with Injected protocol, we have a low in November at around $1.40, and we have a low that was slightly lower in June at around $1.32. So that means we had a consecutive year up basically with this thing, more than a year up. All of this time was just accumulation, wasn't really dipping down. A lot of other altcoins were going down during this period. And guess what? You start to get price increases. And that's when it was on my radar. Of course, 2022, it's still a down year. You're still not too sure, but you have a lot of time to make sure that you're getting a good altcoin. And that's awesome. You start to see here, okay, you start to get a break of the swing top in February 23, and now you start moving up quickly now. And when you start to get a move up, right, it's very important that you don't break the move again. That means it's a failed attempt and you're gonna get hit really hard. So we had a break, but then guess what? Reaccumulation, and we end up breaking the resistance of the previous area. So again, you're just consistently making higher highs and higher lows, essentially, for lamest terms. And that's really bullish, right? Because we're not even in a bull market yet, and Injected protocol is already acting like, and it's outperforming everything. Everyone's like, oh, Bitcoin's too good, Bitcoin's good. Bitcoin is good because it's not gonna hit you as hard, but you can get some altcoins that outperform Bitcoin, like Injected protocol. And this is when Injected protocol started to come on my list. Once I started to see it hovering around the $8 mark, because again, you can just look at it from a year ago. When you got a year of data, that's a long time for an altcoin. You can say this thing's just outperformed the market for a whole year in a bad market. Can you imagine what this thing's going to do in a bull market? And again, it's just grinding across, going around $7, and there you go, you start to break it. It's no fancy support resistance charts. It's just literally looking at supply and demand. When was the last supply in the market? It was around $1 low from June of 2022. When was the high of the market? It started to really creep up, and guess what, guys? We just topped an all-time high, at least on the Binance exchange, when Injected protocol crossed the $25 mark, and now we're currently sitting at 37. Now, there is a lot of volatility coming to the market now, so you do expect there to be some swings. So you can see volume really start to increasing in this market, telling you that traders are trying to buy and sell, seeing where this market's going to go. But at the moment, it's still holding up. So again, you get your churn, you get your pull up, you get your churn, and then hopefully we get another leg up. But at the moment, like I said, guys, we're still not in a bull market for altcoins. But should we get an altcoin bull market, this crypto is easily going to $100. And that's not a clickbaity title. That is not. It's nothing to be scared of. This thing in a bear market did a 10x, essentially. It's not hard to imagine what this thing's going to do in a bull market. And it's roughly market cap high 30s from last time I checked. Another really good way to check an altcoin is to actually look at its market cap, okay? Market cap. It's how it's doing compared to the overall market cap. So it's comparing it to Bitcoin, ETH, stable coins, all the other altcoins. It's a really good measure to see, okay, how you're stacking up to the crypto market cap as a whole. And you can see it's just outperformed the whole market. So if you were to buy Injected protocol, you would have done very, very well, and you would have outperformed 99.9% of coins out there, and 99.99% of any financial instrument in the world. Altcoin number 2 is TIA. This is a crypto that's been doing very, very well. A lot of altcoins, when they come out, they dump. Okay, they dump because no one wants them. There's so much hype at launch. They're promising you everything and they dump. TIA did not dump. Here it came out on the Binance exchange on October 31st, 2023. And you can see it comes out and it doesn't dump. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, hang on a minute, this is odd. And you can start to get, again, much like Injected protocol, you get your shoot up, you get your churn phase, you get your leg up, churn phase, leg up, churn phase. Lots of supply testing into the market with this crypto here. I did a video on TIA. And again, you can see it just, they want to push this price up. There's a lot of selling pressure coming into this, but guess what? Demand's keeping up with it. Particularly this candle here, this red one with the long wick on the bottom. That's telling you, okay, the bulls basically want to keep pushing this thing up. And again, much like Injected protocol, this is a bear market or sort of transitioning to a bull market. Can you imagine what TIA is going to do in a bull market? It's going to do very, very well. And this is another crypto that could easily get to $100 easily, and it's currently sitting at $20. It's not clickbaity. It's not anything. It's just telling you how well this crypto is performing. And again, if we look at market cap, you can see it's just outperformed the market completely. At the moment, this is even better than Injected protocol, but it's much newer, so it's going to carry more volatility to it. Altcoin number 3 is SEI. This is a crypto that was brought to me by a friend. He said, hey, what do you think of this crypto? I'm like, okay, I'll have a look. I'm like, damn, this crypto is actually doing pretty well. Now, this is an altcoin that did come out of the gates a little bit struggling. So it came out of the gates, got to about 47 cents, came down very, very, very hard and quick. And this is what happens with most altcoins that get listed on the Binance exchange. Comes up, and then you get dumped on by about 70% the very next day. That's what usually happens. But then you have to wait, and you start getting lower lows until you start to get to about October 23, when altcoins start to really turn. So October was the year altcoin as a market started to move up. And so at this point, another methodology you can use, or that I use, is, okay, how quick are we going up? So you want to look at the altcoins that are getting shoot up. They're getting bought up because they know it's a really good crypto, the whales. Again, October, you start to see this thing basically goes absolutely insane. Let's have a look at what that is, basically from the low to the high. That's 650% increase. So it's telling you this crypto is doing very, very well, pushing up, but it's very, very important, I've said it a few times now, when the crypto pushes up, how it's going to dump. So you can see, again, pulls up, churns, pulls up, churns, pulls up, churns, pulls up, churns, and you can see the pattern. And until the trend breaks, you should be expecting the trend to continue. So again, churn, break, until you get the opposite of you get a churn and then you get a break, but to the downside, and now you're probably playing it short until you get that. But it's just going with the trend. That's why they say swing trading or trend trading. You're going with the trend, okay? Until the trend starts to break and tell you otherwise, continue. And right now the trend is firmly up for SEI. And again, we can see SEI on the market cap. It's not showing you too well here, but that's because this is a relatively low market cap crypto, and it only got data going until January 24th. So not even a whole month's worth of data. So play a little bit fast and loose how this one, but I'm just trying to be transparent and show you market cap. It's just not much information at the moment. The fourth one is actually Radium. Solana's doing very, very well. Solana is definitely back in business, guys. No one knows what Solana's going to get up to, but I did a video on Solana, but Solana's actually back in business. It's not dying. It's here to stay. It's very, very good. It's cemented itself. It's struggling about $100, but it went from about $10 to $100. It's doing very, very well. So you want to invest something into the Solana network. And for me, Radium and Arweave are probably my two favorites. And you can see Radium really crossing the $1 mark. You get your break and you get a pullback back to the dollar. And now you're getting ready for the next churn up, most likely. This is a highly volatile crypto, of course, because you're buying the layer 2 of Solana. So you want to be a little bit careful on how that would go, because like I said, altcoins that can dump on you hard. But at the moment, there is some significant signs of support coming for Radium. So we just have to see how it reacts. But you definitely want to be something in the Solana network, because like I said, Solana's already proved itself and it's back at $100. So the layer 2s will have much more better gains for you. And then again, looking at the market cap dominance, very similar to the chart, you get your pullback and now potentially going back on the way up. The last one is XLR. Couldn't find a market cap for this crypto, but this is another crypto that's been doing very, very well. Quite volatile. So again, this is your typical altcoin chart when it gets launched. So this is on the Coinbase exchange, but this is basically your typical altcoin exchange launches. You get a huge price at about $1.17. You get dumped on the next day and you just start making much, much more lower lows. Okay, this is why you don't want to buy any crypto that comes out on any of the major exchanges, because you will get dumped on quite quickly, quite heavily, more often than not. And so eventually you start to get a break. And what did I say? October is when the altcoins started to make a move. And you can see XLR absolutely went spastic from about 31 cents all the way to $1. There's 222% right there. So it's a very, very good altcoin, and it's not pulling back as hard as the others. There's a lot of altcoins that are pulling back. XLR is actually holding and still more or less trading between that range there. We'll have to wait and see which trend it goes. This is a crypto I would not be putting much in, but it's still one of the more better ones for its risk to reward ratio. That's going to do it for this video. We'll see how these 5 altcoins perform in 2024. If you want me to cover an altcoin, drop it down below. But other than that, I try to pick some really good ones for you guys that I've been having a look at. But Injected Protocol and TIA are still the 2 dominant ones. They're the gold standards. It's very hard to find a crypto that's outperforming those 2 consistently. But again, risk management, Bitcoin and ETH are still your best bets, but a little bit of altcoins can go a long way. Just make sure you keep your risk management in place. But until then, everyone, I will catch you on the next video.